Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. So, I am here to show you some stitchy wonderfulness. I am participating in Annie Claxton. She has her own YouTube channel, in her great big little stitchery swap, is what she calls it. And it's kind of taken on a life of its own. I mean, she doesn't facilitate the swapping. We don't send stuff to her. We arrange it with each other and give each other our addresses to send to, so we directly send stuff to each other. And it's this wonderful community. I am just enjoying it so much. I found it a few months ago and just joined the Discord community a couple months ago, and I just love it. Um, they're such nice people and so creative. I get so much inspiration from looking at what everyone's working on. So, yeah, I wanted to share some of that with you. So, I am doing about 11 or 12 swaps, I think, and I'm late. I was supposed to send these by the last day of December last year. So, 12 days ago or something like that. And I haven't. Health problems, whatever. But luckily, people are not mad. They're very accepting of everyone's limitations. So I have been steadily working away at these every day. So first I'm going to show you what I have made so far. I thought that would be fun. And then I'll show you the swaps that I've already gotten in the mail from people. And you'll see a great variety. So I love doing like patchwork stuff, obviously. You can tell. Um, and so this one I just recently started working on a couple days ago. And right now I'm just doing the kind of stitching down each little piece and using either coordinating or contrasting threads. And I have a lot of DMC. I should have brought their little balls of thread, and they're perlé thread. What size are they? I think they're eights. Eights or, yeah, most of them are eights. Um, and then I also have some of this glorious Steph Francis thread that I actually found on eBay. It was quite a find. I go on eBay every now and then and look for his stuff because I can only get it by shipping it from the UK, and that's kind of expensive. So this person, and they made these cute little thread holders. I didn't make those. They came that way on these little cats. And I think I got about 8 or 10 different ones, and they're all variegated like this. And what I love about his variegated thread is it's not regular. Like, you can't look at it and say, okay, every 12 inches it changes to pink and then green and then blue. It's just all different, and different lengths of different colors, and it changes quickly too, which I really like because you can see it on a small scale. Like, let's see, on this one here I've done it, and on that side was mostly kind of a purple, but then you got green down here, and then green and purple, and I skipped that part because I did the apple first with the red. And then up here some more greens and yellow, and then this is an orange. So they kind of overlap each other too. So oh, and this one too. This has a lot of pink. This whole round is all this Steph Francis thread. So yeah, so that's that one. That's what it looks like on the back. And I've used, oh, and the only requirement is they're 4 inches square. And then some people wanted backing borders with like a 1/4 inch or so border so they could possibly sew them together. Because once you get a bunch of these in, you're like, how can I display these or keep them somewhere nice? And some people are putting them in books, and that's what I intend to do, make a little stitchy book. And Annie has done that. I'll put a link to one of her videos about the Great Big Little Stitchery swap. That's kind of a mouthful. So yeah, 4 inches square, and I have used some scraps of, I think it was actually quilting, not just batting. Yeah, because there was stuff on the other side. But I didn't have anything that was 4 inches square. They were all kind of funky shaped scraps. I think I got them from a quilt store that sold their scraps. I love when the quilt stores do that because they're usually pretty cheap. And you get a variety of little pieces, which is what I love to work with. So obviously this one, I had to Frankenstein 2 pieces together. And that's what I've done on pretty much all of them. And it works fine. You know, I just sewed those 2 together so they won't go to waste. They're getting used. And then some people really like seeing the stitching on the back. Do I have a needle? Yeah, I still have this thread on the needle. Should probably stick that in here so it doesn't get lost. So I think it's kind of fun to see the backs too, and you get an idea of all the work that went into it. Annie really loves looking at the backs first. So that's that one. Then let's move on to another one. This one I did tiny little scraps of these color blocks, and they're all about the same size except for this one. And yeah, I just thought that would be a fun space to play on, and that's kind of what I've done. I didn't know what I was going to do once I got the color blocks on, and I just started stitching. And so first I used this thread because I thought it'd be fun to have, you know, sort of rainbow thread, getting the pieces stuck down. So I've got like 2 rows on each column. Well, okay, 2 columns of stitching on each column of fabric, something like that. You see what I mean. So I did that first, and then I think I did, this is chain stitch, which is, that might be, nope, I was going to say it's this, but it's not. It's just some other thread I have. It's funky because I've got some size 8, it's a different brand than DMC, and it doesn't look like size 8. It looks, you know, it's bigger. So it's funny how it's not consistent across brands as far as the size. It varies a bit. Maybe you guys have noticed that too. So I did the chain stitch up, and then I thought it'd be fun to put a bunch of green tiny buttons. Those are some of my teensy tiny. Can I get that to focus? Come on. Come on, you. What is it doing? Okay. Well, yeah. Mostly tiny buttons and then a few beads. This one's a bigger glass bead. And then I've got oh, some French knots here. This scrap was actually not a color block, you can tell. It's like all greens and blues, so that's why I chose the green and blue buttons there. And let's see, then I've got a teeny little heart button, which I thought would be nice on her chest there. Wearing her heart on her chest. And then I've got this fun button in the middle, which is sort of an off-white with a sparkly bit in the middle of it. And what else? Oh, I think before I put this button on, I did the spiral of this metallic gold thread. And I think, actually I don't know what brand that metallic thread is. I think it's one I got from the thrift store in a bag of other threads, but it's nice and sparkly, so I like it. So I made that big spiral. It's about this big. What else? Okay, so then I did, ooh, what is this called again? Fly stitch, I think. Two different color threads here. One is orangish reddish variegated, and then the other is a purple, and those are supposedly both size 8 threads, and they look pretty different, right? And then up here I've got a Suffolk puff, and you can see how much it stands up there. That's fun. And it wasn't quite closed in the middle, so I just sewed some beads in there of kind of the variety of colors that's on this side. Orange and yellow and pink and red. And then I thought it'd be fun to make it into more of a flower, so I did a couple of different threads there. And again, these are both size 8, and the outer one looks thicker than the inner one. And then I've got some rickrack on the bottom here. Oh, but first the lace. I put a piece of lace on there. And I just like it really colorful. I'm very drawn to a wide variety of color. I don't like beige or gray. I really don't like gray. I don't like the trend or understand the trend to have baby stuff gray right now. I think it's awful. Poor babies. They need color. So that's that one. Then we've got this all red and white and pink one. There, get all of it in the frame there. And this one I used a little shisha mirror. I got some, I think I just got them from Amazon, and that was fun. I watched a couple videos on how you sew those on, including Sarah Humphrey, I think that's her name. She's got some fabulous embroidery videos. She's a professional, and she shows you how to do that. That one looks okay. I like how it turned out, but it's not like her. It's not like her, so I haven't mastered that yet, but that's okay. Again, it's very busy, with lots of little elements, like this flower. I just try to use like my favorite things on these, and I crocheted that flower. I have a whole bag of little crocheted flowers that I can use, because I got a little carried away at one point and was addicted to making little crochet flowers. I didn't know what I was going to do with them at the time, but I just thought they were fun. So I think it looks pretty nice. And then I've got another flower here that's felt, and that's a couple layers. It's got a pink layer and a red layer, and then a little bead in the middle. And I did just a little simple stitching on there on the inside to make it kind of go together, the red and pink. And I've got some more buttons up here and some beads. And what is this green thing? That's just not attached. Okay. And then this, this little kind of wheel thing, that is from some lace that I got at the thrift store. This rickrack is actually a velvet, and I wasn't sure how to sew that on. It looks a little lumpy because of sewing it on with I don't know, not velvet, I guess. So, you know, it sinks into the velvet and makes it a little lumpy, but it still has a fun texture. I like feeling it. And you can tell I put the rickrack on before I decided to do the spiral on here. I like doing spirals. It's kind of a new thing for me, but I like it a lot. And what have we got over in this corner? I've got a little felt heart and a button, some more beads. I did kind of a loopy thing with thread on the top here and attached beads on that thread. And then we got some more little beads here. Another rickrack, a real skinny rickrack. And I think that's about it. Oh, and there's a sheep. Everything else is just patterns, but that's kind of what got me started on this one, was the piece of sheep fabric. I thought it was really cute, and so I kind of just played off of that. And yeah, I think that's about it. I did a little bit of blanket stitch on the edge. Just a few pops of color there, and that's it. And there's the back, very shiny with all the silver metallic thread. Okay, and then there's this one. I really love this one. I love green and orange together. I know Annie does not like it, so oh well. It's not for everybody, I guess, but I really love how this one came out. Got another mirror there, and this border around it started out on top of it, and I tried to do Sarah Humphrey's method of pulling it back so it would be around the edge of the mirror, but it didn't work. It just kind of went off. So then I did some more stitching on top of it, just a little cross there, to make sure it would stay. These mirrors actually have sticky backs, so you peel off paper and stick them on, so that helps hold it in place while you're sewing, but I wouldn't want to just rely on the sticky back to hold it. I think it really needs to be sewn on. So yeah, we got the mirror, and then I did a couple of different just shapes here, the heart and the star, and I did put a little tiny bit of stuffing in the star, so it's kind of poofy. You can see it kind of stands up. I thought that would be fun. So it's mostly green and orange. There's a couple pops of purple on this piece of fabric. It goes under the green piece, and so I did put in some purple beads there to kind of bring that out a little. I think this is split stitch. I can't quite remember, but I think it's too tiny to be chain stitch, so I'm pretty sure it's split stitch. So I actually followed a shape that was already on this green piece of fabric. You can kind of see underneath, especially in the middle stalk, and really liked how that came out, and so I kind of did a little more here, went around an orange spot there, and let's see what else. Did a spiral here on top of the heart and kept going out to about here. Oh, and then this strip of orange has little tiny leaves on it, so I took some green thread and kind of brought those out a little more. And there's a few beads here and there. There's an orange one there. And then I did do chain stitch and just kind of did this meandering line, and I really liked how that came out. Wasn't sure if it was going to come out okay, but I really like how it came out. And so I added another little meander of chain stitch with some purple thread to kind of go with the purple beads and the purple spots on the fabric. And then this one does have the backing, so it's just a piece of sheet, I think. And it's kind of nice because it's easier to see all the stitching on the back if you like that sort of thing. And my last one, oh look, there's a needle. I should put that somewhere else since I'm done with this one. Okay, so this I think is the one that I started working on first, and it took me a while to finish it because at a certain point I was kind of stuck, so that's when I started working on the green and orange one, and then I eventually came back to this one and finished it. And since the chain stitch came out so well on the green and orange one, I did do some more of that on here just with a light green. There's not, well, I was going to say there's not a whole lot of green on these fabrics, but there is some up here. And then I've got this clusters of beads like that one. I did use a couple of selvage pieces of fabric, and so you can kind of see through the beads there. You got the 1, 2, 3 with the different colors, and then up here is 4, 5, but I surrounded those so much it's harder to see them, especially the 4. But I just kind of played off the circle and made them into flowers. And then I've got another cluster here of buttons and beads, different size buttons and beads. I like using the little seed beads. I think they look really nice. And I've got another shisha mirror here. I think that was a late addition because it was working, I thought, really well on the other ones, and so I decided to add it here. And I've got another Suffolk puff. Now this one was closed up pretty well, so I didn't add any beads to the middle. And I've just, to attach these, maybe you can see my teeny tiny stitches there. I don't know. It's the thread I used is the almost exact same color as this fabric, so I've just got teeny little stitches, stab stitches I guess you could call them, to attach that. I just really like the way those look on these pieces. And I've got a little piece of rickrack here, some interesting copper beads. I thought they were interesting. Here's a interesting glass bead. Not sure what color that is. Sort of blue, sort of. I think it's mostly, oh, it's iridescent. Okay. Yeah, you can see it better on this side. There we go. And then it's more clear on the other side. So I've got some little shapes of stitching up here. I've got a really small spiral think that was my first spiral. And then I did a square over here, and I got a little fly stitch here. There's a little tiny flower, and that I actually had pre-cut on my Big Shot. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Because I had a bunch of felt that I had cut with a variety of flower dies, cutting dies that I had. And it worked really well. I mean, I would have had a lot of trouble cutting that out with just scissors myself, and making it so symmetrical. So it's much easier to have the die cut it. I think that's about it. Yeah. Got some stitching up here. But yeah, I really like this kind of free-form, very colorful, very dense with doodads kind of squares. So that's what I'm making. Those are all the ones I've made so far. Like I said, I'm still working on this one. So I'll definitely show you that again when I get more of it done. I'm going to stick this other needle in here. Okay, and now I shall show you the ones that I have received. So here's the first one, a cute little kitty cat. And I really like the colorful thread around the edges, the blanket stitch around the edge. So nice. I don't know if she used, it kind of looks like she used several different colors of thread and just did them individually, and you know, filled in spaces when she came back with another color. I really like how that turned out. This is a really fun fabric. I love that. And it's just such a cute kitty. And it looks like she backed hers after she did her stitching. So it looks nice and neat. And that is from Deb on the Facebook group. I think it's Deb. Well, I don't know if people want me to share their last name, so I won't. I'll just say thanks, Deb. Yeah, that's a fun one. And I'm just taking them off of piles off the camera here because I'm trying to keep track of who they're all from, so I can keep track of that in my eventual book of stitchery. I didn't do a good job at first of keeping track of that, so I'm trying to keep them in neat piles now. Okay, so this one is from Paula, and she is in the Discord group. Maybe I should just, there. Okay, that's better. That's easier. I'm standing up doing this so I can see, make sure that everything is getting in frame, so it's a little awkward. Shiny, shiny. I love it. And this, I mean, wow. I think she made that, like, sewed the individual threads and teeny tiny sequins. It's just beautiful. So yeah, pretty cool. And then there's a little pocket over here with some more shiny shiny. So that is cute. And there's a flower coming out of the pocket. Got some French knots there. And I think she said this was her theme on this one was camping. And that looks like a camper, that that piece going under there. And I love this fabric. Oh, it's beautiful with all these different colors. That was a perfect spot to put the sun. And it looks like the sun is surrounded in shiny sequins. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, there we go. Pretty cool. And I like the lace around the edge. That's a really nice touch. It's just so fun to see the variety of stuff that people create. Okay, so that is Paula's. Gotta get the next one. And this is from Lisa, who I have known for a while. I haven't actually ever met her, but I'm in another online group with her, and I actually told her about Annie. Thought she would like Annie's group and channel, and she agreed to do a swap with me. So she commented that it kind of looks like a garden, and I agree. It does look like a very tidy garden with nice, neat little squares of different plants and flowers. And I like that she added buttons too. And I love this stitch. I'm not sure what that is, if that's back stitch, maybe split stitch, I don't know. It's really fun though. And the flowers, I like the tall flowers with little tiny French knots. And there's the back of hers. Okay. And next we have, Sharon. Okay. This is from Sharon. And she has lots of Suffolk puffs on here. I think she said she had taught a class about slow stitching, and the ladies really loved the Suffolk puffs, and I can see why. And it looks like she used some kind of like satin fabric. Yeah, there's a variety of fabric types in these Suffolk puffs on here. And then this one looks like a sheer fabric, and it's got like some embroidery or stitching on it. And I love these beads. These beads are gorgeous. They look like little seeds, and they're kind of iridescent with different colors showing up. They look kind of greenish, kind of purplish. It's really neat. And the big center flower, very nice. And she's got some fly stitching. And there's the back. Okay, next is, okay, this one's from Lynn, and she said her theme was autumn, and I just love this. You know, it's maybe looks kind of simple, but I just think it's beautiful. I love autumn as well, and I love how she did this layered tree. That is so cool. And then these little leaves. You know, they don't, when you look at them, they don't look that hard to make. I might try making some leaves. But they're so effective, and they just look like they're blowing around on an autumn day. Really nice. And then a couple little birds here flying in the distance. So very fun. That makes me want to try some landscape stitching like that. Okay, and then I've got two more. So this one is from Linda. Beautiful. I love green. Green is my favorite. But I love the variety of stuff she's got on here. Of course, the Suffolk Puffs. Very nice. And the spirals around them. And a flower here with leaves, and she like stitched over, I think there's a word for that. Thread painting? Yeah, I think that's it. It's like you look at the colors that are already there in the design and you kind of stitch over that to emphasize it. And these are super cute, these little white and pink daisies. And this looks like a little like a garden too, doesn't it? I like the lace, of course. I love lace. And this lace too. This is really pretty. And she's got peace and love. Very nice. Just very calming. Okay, and last but not least, I gotta show you the card. This is from Claire in the Discord group. Okay, so beautiful scene on the card. And whoa, she did the same picture on her stitch square. Is that cool or what? I just love that. That's so creative. Really fun. Little tiny house with she's got a door and windows and even a little chimney. And it looks like, yeah, it feels like she stuffed the clouds. Just a little bit of stuffing, and it's really fun to feel the texture. And then she's got 3 different kinds of sequiny flowers here. Those are very fun. And then more thread painting. So another landscape picture. I guess I kind of put those together without realizing it. But yeah, very fun. Love it. So that is it for now for me. I just wanted to focus on just the stitchery stuff right now and show you what I've been working on, what, you know, the swap I'm involved in. And like I said, I will leave a link to Annie Claxton, one of her videos about the Great Big Little Stitchery swap. So that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.